It began with the scratching. Not the frantic kind from tree branches or raccoons, but something slow, deliberate, a nail dragging along the baseboard heater in my bedroom, just once. The kitchen faucet started dripping at 3,000 a.m. Exactly, though I'd wrenched the handle tight every evening. The plumber found nothing. "Pressure's fine," he said, wiping his hands on a rag. "Old pipe sinks sometimes." I adjusted. Started wearing socks to bed because the floorboards near the closet felt cold or somehow damp. Through the blinds, I'd see the neighbor's terrier sitting statue still on their porch, staring at my upstairs window. The silence underneath. No crickets, no moths tapping at the porch light. The echo of a slammed cupboard warped into the low groan of a door opening somewhere above me. Upstairs, my bedroom mirror wept fog in the humid dark. I pressed a palm to the glass. Cold seeped through. Something pressed back. The cold lingered in my palm like a burn. I slept with that hand under the pillow, numb and foreign, dreaming of wet footprints climbing the staircase. The terrier began whining, a high, keening pitch that hollowed out my ribs. The dog planted its paws, snarling at my front steps until the man dragged it away, cursing. The drip accelerated. Plink, plink, plink. By midnight, I stuffed towels in the sink. The sound slithered up through the drain instead, wet and guttural. A smudge of breath on glass where my own lips were shut. Once, a flicker of motion behind me, too tall. I spun, heart skidding. Empty room. The closet door never quite latched anymore. My breath came visible in sweltering July. The scratching had migrated inside the walls now, patient, ascending. When I pressed my ear to the plaster, I heard a sigh. Viscous. Famished. Something else hit the floorboards upstairs. A slow, luxuriating step, drawing closer. The footsteps paused on the landing. My throat clamped shut. The closet hinge creaked, a raw, animal whine, though the air was dead still. My reflection in the weeping mirror, blurred and wavering. Had my shoulders always hunched like that? The whisper rocketed back, warped, deeper, hungrier, as though the house had scooped up the word and gnawed on it. A wet click answered, like a tongue probing teeth. The doorknob rattled. Not the closet. The bedroom door. A moth slammed into the fog glass, wings like flakes of ash, its shadow, enormous and malformed, quivered on the wall. Something wrenched inside the closet. A choked gasp. My... Gah. Locked doors mean nothing here. Fixating on the mirror, I saw it. The slow curl of my own lips lifting into a smile I didn't feel. Cold breath tendrilled from the glass. My reflection mouthed, "Look up!" And the thing on the ceiling dropped. The impact never came, only a papery flutter against my scalp. I reached up, dry wings crumbled between my fingers. Ash! Always ash! My reflection stayed upright, cocking its head, its hand pressed forward. Cold bloomed through the glass into my wrist. Bonds without substance. The closet yawned open, disgorging a threadbare coat I didn't own, collar bristling with moth legs. I tried to shout. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth, membrane, thin and paper dry. The mirror was breathing, fog billowed, obscuring the reflection. No, not obscuring, changing it. Shoulders now knife-sharp, spine contorted. Downstairs, the front door groaned open, inviting. The house exhaled decay, sweet and cloying. My legs moved, not toward escape. Above, a shadow pooled, forming hands, familiar hands, the kind that once braided my hair. Trembled with fever. Clawed at a locked bedroom door. The stairs creaked with the memory of my mother's weight. My knees buckled, an old reflex. The shadow hands dripped lower, fingernails glinting wet. "Don't look! Don't remember!" But the smell, camphor, and sickbed sweat flooded my throat. The mirror's breath hissed against my neck. "She waited for you!" My reflection crooned, voice syrupy with rot. I shook my head, but the motion wasn't mine, a marionette jerk. My chin tilted up as the hands descended. Coat moth stirred. Legs skittered over my collarbone, my reflection now smeared with wing dust. My real mouth stayed gum shut, but the mirror self spoke again. "You left the door locked! You left her burning!" A nail grazed my cheek solid. Hot. A blister rose, throbbing in time with the house's pulse. Downstairs, the door slammed. "Too late!" My shadow peeled from the floor, twisting into something rail-thin, poised to climb stairs I hadn't climbed in a decade. "Time to check on Mother," the reflection whispered. An ash filled my shoes, my lungs, as my traitor legs carried me toward the second floor. The coat unfurled behind me, a cloak of moth spines. Above, the shadow hands raked across the ceiling, carving splinters. A wet cough echoed, real, human, hungry. And suddenly, under the moth's rasping, I heard it, a muffled tapping. Knock, knock, knock. From behind her locked door. The tapping quickened. 3 beats, a choked rest, then 3 again. A code I still knew in my marrow. My teeth ground ash. Moth wings clotted my ears, but the sound pierced through, each knock a pin driven deeper. Her door loomed, paint blistered into sores. The key turned with a scream of rust. My reflection in the tarnished doorknob grinned, lips splitting like dried paper. "She's been asking for her medicine," it sighed. Inside, a bed frame twisted in mothwing gray. The wallpaper pulsed, bulging with shapes that might have been faces, and the smell burnt hair beneath vanilla lotion. The kind she used after the baths. A figure stirred in the corner, back turned. My voice came out small. "Mom?" The cough that answered was hers exactly, the wet rattle from that last week, when her fever cooked the phlegm in her lungs. She turned. My legs gave. The moths roared. Her face was still burning. The flames crawled across her cheeks, blue-edged and silent. Her pupils were holes punched through wax paper, but her voice, that rasp, those cracked vowels, perfect, late again. My knees hit floorboards softer than flesh. Her hand cupped mine. Not a hand, fingers fused into a claw, cool as a porcelain teapot. "You forgot the medicine." Each word made the walls flex inward, paper faces pressing closer. I tasted bile, counted the moles on her neck, 3 in a row, same as before the funeral. Her breath smelled of mothballs and overripe plums, dribbling, always dribbling. She coughed, and a wing unfolded in her throat. My reflection watched from the dresser mirror, peeling a strip of skin from its forearm. The room warped, sweat damp as her other hand rose. A syringe glittered, half embedded in her palm. The syringe kissed my vein. Coldness spread and the ceiling peeled away, revealing a sky clogged with chrysalises. The thing in her ear crawled out, a larva, plump and quivering, carved from the same bone shine as the nails downstairs. "Mother," I whispered. The house sighed through its rot. Shadows sewed my mouth shut. The cold syrup in my veins thickened, branching. My fingers split like overcooked sausages, pale, spongy. I tried to speak, but the shadows behind my teeth had weight now, wet sacks of silt. Her claws stroked the puckered flesh where my kneecap used to kneel, used to pray. The mirror across the room showed a girl made of wax, her mouth an open wick. A larva plopped onto my thigh, antennae twitching. "Remember the summer you hid in the crawl space?" she whispered, breath dampening my hair into seaweed strands. My ribs creaked. A seam split beneath my breastbone. No blood, just unraveling yarn, honey-colored and endless. The chrysalis skies sagged, leaking substance that stuck to my eyelashes. Her face dripped closer, wax pooling where our cheeks should meet. The larva in my thigh burrowed, singing in a voice I recognized. "My own!" Age 6, humming nursery rhymes. "Stay!" I gargled through the silt. The word felt like ripping Velcro. The house exhaled, and my bones swelled to fit its ribs.